FreeMMOStation.com.
Hey everyone, hopefully I don't trip over my words. I'm Skyline Shore here with FreeMMOStation.com, bringing you a first impression review of Dragon's Prophet. Alright everyone, let's look at the character creator screen. First up, we have 4 classes. The 4 classes of Dragon's Prophet include a Guardian, which is a tank melee DPS type. We have the Ranger, which uses bows and also does some acrobatic melee moves. It's interesting. The Oracle is sort of lighter melee DPS, but also has some magic with it. And then you have the Sorcerer, which is outright magey. Very cool though, very action-based. This game has an action-based combat, and it's a lot of fun. But going into the character creator, we have a lot of different options available to us. First up here are some hairstyles, some face styles. There's a whole bunch of them, but you can completely customize your character just outright in so many different ways, from all the little tiny sliders that you get in a game like Oblivion or Skyrim, and then you also have some really cool presets with hairs and stuff. So I really enjoy it, and I think the sliders look really good, though my one critique is that it doesn't have a randomize button, and I'm a huge fan of the randomize button, and I kind of wish there was some more profiles to pick from. However, I did get the character that I wanted with the hairstyle that I wanted, and I'm happy about that. There's a full palette of colors, and you know, with the sliders you have just full range of your character's control. The one thing that I don't like is that you can't choose your character's starting clothes, which you can in Age of Wushu, and I really enjoyed that. Also, you can make your character look kind of weird. But after you make your character look really weird, you can go and, or you know, make it how you want it to look. You choose a starting zone, which does affect your starting gameplay. And then you get these really cool, awesome cinematics, which when I first played the game, it didn't include voice acting in the game. So it's really cool that there's voice acting now, and remember, this is in beta, and open beta is starting soon, so a lot is going to change, and they're going to be fixing it. So some things might look buggy, some features might entirely be erased from the game. So it's really cool that we're seeing it now, but remember that not everything is as it will be when it's fully released. So you just saw the settings that I'm playing on. I'm playing on medium-ish, high-ish. The game runs about 30 frames per second while recording, but however, I've heard other people say that it runs better for them, hopefully in open beta, and hopefully whenever it's actually out, it runs a little bit better. But as you can see, I'm using my mouse, which it's highlighted whenever I click it. I'm using my mouse to attack. Like I said, here are some really cool cinematics. I mean, not entirely dramatic or anything, but it's nice that it's in there. So whatever town you're playing as, it's going to be raided, and you have to defend it. Yeah, you can jump all over the place, attack while jumping, slash dash, and then of course later on you're going to have spells to use while you're doing your normal combos. And these spells can be comboed into with your other spells, and it's almost like a fighting game. You actually can go through the menu and see how to do the combos and what button combinations will actually make these moves happen. So it's really cool, and definitely I like this combo system a lot. I think it's really interesting. However, I don't like getting stunned like this whenever I get hit. Yeah, stun locking beetles, just, that sucks. But it's not just beetles. Whenever you get hit, you actually get stunned. So that makes the game actually really hard for people that want to be DPS melee. So I think Rangers right now have a ton of like it just might be better to be ranged. I don't really know. It might be a little bit OP because you do get stunned, and you do stun when you hit other people. So that might be something. But every class has the ability to dodge and stuff, so you can dodge a lot. Unlike Guild Wars 2, you can actually dodge over and over and over again. Now remember, this is a first impression, so there's going to be a lot of features that are left out, like raiding. There will be shown a dungeon, but it won't show the boss of the dungeon. It's not like a high-level dungeon. And right now you're just watching essentially the very beginning of the game, which is really cool. I like how they did what Guild Wars 2 does, and it starts you off sort of with this cinematic experience, and you're fighting bosses and everything, so that's really cool. This is the menu combo system thing that I was talking about. One thing that's annoying is that whenever the tutorial or tips pop up, you have to actually click it with the mouse. I haven't figured out a button, or if there is a button, to just close it out. So if I'm in the middle of a fight and it pops up, then it's just going to be on my screen for a while, or I have to stop the fight. Get hit a couple times and then close it out, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah, there's a couple of different combos that you can do, and as you level up, the variations go up in number dramatically, and there's lots of different spells, lots of different effects, and all the different classes have a totally different gameplay feel, and there's sort of flexibility with the classes. Since it is an action game, And then you have dragons, which I'll get into in a second. There is a lot of flexibility in what you can do in this game.
The Marauders and Exiles came here for you. They want to kill the Osira who fell from the sky. We drove them off. They'll return.
Alright, a little buggy, but hey, it's beta. So when I first played the game, I felt like it was really arcadey, and my opinion hasn't changed. The game is definitely arcade. Think of this, the action combat is similar to Terra, but think of it as more like just, you know, arcade. There's kind of silly numbers flying up. The movements aren't exactly realistic or fluid, but it does have a certain feel to it, and I can't say it's bad. Even though it does look a little bit silly sometimes, even though it's not always realistic, sometimes the moves are kind of stuttering. It still kind of has a really good feel. It feels really responsive. And even though you get stunned by a lot of attacks, that's more realistic than like in World of Warcraft where you're just phasing through almost everything. So that's really cool. I really like it. My first impressions was that it doesn't look that appealing. The movements and the animations, I feel like they need a lot of work, especially whenever you see animations in the distance. It sort of does this thing where the frame rate drops just for the animation. A lot of games do this to help with the performance, like Smite. Smite does it. I wish there's an option to turn that off or something like that. Maybe it's really good on the server. I don't know. Oh, here's the map. The map system shows, you can even see where quests can be attained to run. So you can see where you go to get new quests, and you can see wherever you need to accomplish a quest. So the map is your basic standard map, nothing too pretty, but it does have a lot of information, and that's good. You can also see the map for the floating island, which I'll talk about in a second. So here you can mount dragons. You actually tame dragons this way. You have to ride them, play a little mini game, which is very similar to grinding in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And basically you have to hit buttons that flash up, and then you have to keep a cursor in the middle. And you can tame a dragon. Alright, so dungeons, you can select difficulties, and well, that's really awesome. I'm glad that they have that. Everyone loves that's really good for everyone. New players, experienced players, setting difficulties. Hopefully they have different rewards and stuff like that. But yes, talking about dragons, there's tons of different kinds of dragons, and there's some that are aquatic, some that are on land, some that fly. There's some are mounts and battle pets. So everyone's basically a hunter in this game, similar to World of Warcraft, where the pets can just do all sorts of stuff. But in this game, you can actually mount them, actually have the different abilities. There's different stats. There's just so much. This game is very similar to Pokemon, except you, as the trainer, as the dragon trainer, as the warrior, you actually do a lot too. So dragons do about 20 to 30% of your damage, but also some dragons have different utilities. So you can sort of spec to be a tank dragon so that you can go all DPS, ranged or something. There's a lot of flexibility with this. So the battle system is really cool. I feel like it needs some kinks worked out with the stunning. I feel like that might be a little weird. I think there needs to be more knockback, more knockdowns for both the player and the enemies. I feel like just sitting there stunned, and also the animation looks really quirky, but I feel like that needs some work. If it could be just quicker, a little bit more faster paced, maybe like C9 or Vindictus, I would like that a lot better. But I really don't mind the arcadiness. I almost prefer it, actually, for some reason. It just feels really responsive sometimes, and it just kind of looks cool. I don't know, I like it. Just the overall feel, like while I'm playing it, it's not bad. Even though some of the animations do look bad, it doesn't feel bad, really. I just think it has some work to go. But the graphics overall, it's a little bit grainy. It doesn't look totally amazing, and it doesn't run out of this world amazing either. But beta is beta. They have a long way to go. It's a free-to-play game. It's going to be constantly updated. I think it looks really cool. I think it works really well. And I still haven't decided what class I'm going to be playing, because yes, I did like this game enough to keep playing it. I am going to dedicate it. I'm probably going to get some friends to play it. So if you want to play with me, my in-game name is going to be Skylent. I'm going to play on an East Coast server. I don't know. Alright, so yes, dungeons seem pretty typical. I don't know about endgame dungeons, but I do want to talk about some of the endgame content that I haven't featured in this first impression review, because it's a first impression review. So flying is just like World of Warcraft's flying. It's exactly like that. You get a dragon that can fly, and then supposedly early on you get this flying mounts. Real quick, here is how the minigame looks. This dragon bucked me off like instantly. Basically, you have to keep that icon in the middle of the circle, and then whenever it gets thrown to the side, you have to mash the button that it says to mash over and over, like button mash it. So you have to weaken them sometimes. It's very similar to Pokemon, where rare ones have to be weakened more. And so this one, I wanted this one because he's red, and red and orange are like my favorite colors. So I wanted that. And but he was too difficult. I ended up slaying them. So yeah. But yes, there are different dragons. There's aquatic dragons, land dragons, insect dragons, all sorts of different kind of draconic animals that you can tame and use, and just awesomeness. I would like to see, I don't know if they're going to have this or if they're planning this or if it's already in the game really, but I would love to see mounted pets where while you are mounted, you can actually like shoot fireballs and stuff. I think that would be really interesting. It might already be in the game. I'm not sure, but I would just like that. This game is focused on, well, I guess there's really no focus right now that I can tell. There does seem to be like this really high emphasis though on the PvP because normally like Guild Wars 2 kind of has an emphasis on PvP where it's like the game is separated from PvE and PvP. I feel like this game is like that too, but this game actually has a lot of features that's just sort of, it's hard to explain. It's it has you it's going to take a lot of gameplay time to get it across, so you are going to have to be playing this game a lot to really be great at PvP because not like you have to grind or anything, but it's just like Guild Wars 2 where you have to sort of team up with other people and know the metagame strategies and all that. But this game is more roleplay focused. So instead of quick arenas that you're playing in Guild Wars 2, this one is actually really long and drawn out. And I'm going to explain it. I know it's sort of confuddling, but okay. So there is another sort of floating island, I guess, and on this floating island, it's pretty big. It's a floating continent, actually. Players can build, it's an instance area, players can build buildings, and they can have like towns and everything and work together, and basically there is one person that rules this island. And how it works is that you can fight for the right to rule the island, and that's just awesome. That's going to promote guild play. That's going to promote sieges. That's going to promote really like a role play mindset. And it's not sort of the fake role play wherever you're pretending to be in a fantasy. You're actually going to have war waged on this game with other guilds because you're going to build up towns. You're going to want to have taxes lower, or maybe you want more resources available to you. Who knows? They really could do anything with this game. And I don't know. I really can't really wrap my head around what all they could do. But basically, the PvP is going to be intensive in that aspect. It's going to be focused on in that aspect. And I feel like the game is basically you playing the normal game, the PvE game, with your buddies in order so that you can get the different dragons and then all the different materials so that you can build your houses and then PvP or build up your town. So think of it like Minecraft, like really 10% of the game is you adventuring and slaying monsters. But then the 90 other percent is building up, playing with friends, doing whatever you want, sieging with each other, stuff like that. I think it's very similar to that. Well, overall, I think the game is fun. It's a little bit arcade. It's a little bit silly. There's a whole lot here going on. Maybe we'll make another video explaining the end game stuff. There's a lot going on, but check out on YouTube. There's so much. There's so much this game has to offer, so much potential, and I think it's good. I think this has a very average starting. I think it's going to ramp up, though. I think a lot of people are liking the concept, and just the concept alone. Even if the game had standstill combat and all that, people play Pokemon. The concept of this game is actually really cool. So, yeah. It's published by Sony Online Entertainment, and it's responsible by Runewaker, makers of Runes of Magic. So, there are some things from Runes of Magic here, like the customization and some of the combat-ish, but mostly this game feels pretty original. Honestly, it feels pretty original, and I really enjoy it. So again, I'm Skyline Shore. Thanks for watching my first impression review. I did like the game. I thought it was pretty cool, and I think, you know what? If you like this game, then go play it, because open beta starts like now. It's happening right now. It's really on us, and just try it out. Alright, so that's it. Check out FreeMMOStation's other videos. We got some other free-to-plays coming up that you guys should watch out for. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks to you for watching. Bye-bye.